Are you having fun? I set up, you didn't pay me no mind, you were just having too much. What were you doing?
I see you. What was I doing?
Yes.
I was doing something that we used to do on the south side of Chicago in the Washington Park when, before the smartphone and the YouTube and all the rest of that. I was playing on my little cans here.
Ah.
I wouldn't call them bongos. I would just simply call them cans, empty cans.
Empty cans.
Glued together with a little, as you can see, a little,
Pencil.
take a pencil and some, Gorilla Glue. And if you put these together, you can alter the tone. As easy as that.
Oh, okay. And so that's what you did when you were how old?
I don't know, 12, 15.
Ah.
I mean, teenage boys. The guys who really wanted to, you could get the big round tomato cans, and they would really have a nice sound to them. But that's not why we're here.
Back to business, I guess.
Okay,
all right.
stay with the program.
All right.
My name is Odie Hawkins, and I'm here reading columns that I wrote for the African Times newspaper in 1996, 1998. And we are on one now, another column, that I'm calling Windows 98. Windows 98 is about, well, I'll read it.
Sounds good.
This was written, June 1998. It's called Windows 98. Randall Robinson's book, Defending the Spirit. A lot of people don't remember Randall Robinson. He left here and went to, I believe, Antigua or somewhere because he just got fed up with America. He was instrumental in helping Nelson Mandela get freed, and very active in the civil rights struggle, and he's gone. Anyway, Randall Robinson's book, Defending the Spirit, should be studied as a textbook of how's, what, and what for, and whys of the American government's involvement or lack of involvement with the people on the African continent in North, South America, the Caribbean, and wherever else one might find people of African descent. Make it cool to check out the Lugar Crane, Philip Crane, Senator Lugar, as an example of the kind of devious chicanery that Randall Robinson, president of Trans Africa, unmasks in his book. The bill is euphemistically called the African Growth and Opportunity Act. In reality, it is an invitation to unleash the corporate pit bulls on Africa's long-term economic, political, environmental, and social interests. In plain language, the bill is saying, if you do what we tell you to do, in the ways we tell you to do it, we'll take advantage of your cheap labor, your cheap national resources, and promise you that the majority of the people will not benefit from our enlightened interests in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Furthermore, to add injury to the insults, the Lugar Crane Bill would allow Africa-U.S. trade zones, or NAFTA for Africa, that would grant Big Brother the rights to dump cheaply made U.S. agricultural products on local markets, knocking down local farmers and other small businesses, and additionally, by lowering the gate for the corporate pit bulls, the American companies will be encouraged to relocate to Africa, meaning loss of American jobs, serious exploitation of African workers, and massive damage to the environment. Sounds like the apartheid cankerso is being resurrected under another name. Randall Robinson deals with a number of Lugar Crane bills in his book. Read it and get as angry as he is. And after the anger passes, use the spirit that he infuses to do something constructive with the anger. Click. Click. Ethiopia and its former province, rebellious ally Eritrea, at war over a slice of borderland. Brothers and sisters killing each other because of pride. That's all it's about, pride. Makes her think of the Crips and Bloods. They must stop fighting each other. There's no word in anybody's language that is worth a human life, or the disruptions of the quality of lives that are already at risk. Sounds like the Crips and Bloods, doesn't it? Snap, crackle, and pop. We spoke with a number of journalists, business types, creative people, recent immigrants, realists, idealists from West Africa about the death of James Byrd Jr., the African-American man whose body was dragged by racists in Jasper, Texas, to shreds. They drugged him, they tied the man to a truck with chains and drug him till he was ripped to shreds. Strangely, 6 of the people we spoke to about the horrible murder of James Byrd Jr. simply didn't want to relate to the event. I can't believe that something like that could happen in America in 1988. Oh, no. Perhaps this attitude on the part of many West Africans explains why there are no ministries of diaspora. There's an opaque window obscuring their view of what has happened and is happening in African Brazilians. Let me read that again. It obscuring their view of what has happened and is happening to African Americans in North, South America, and the Caribbean. Concurrently, the African American public has a tendency to be ignorant about events in Africa. Abacha? Abacha who? We have to remove the blind spots by any means possible. Scenarios. The Germans repay the Jews for the Holocaust that the Nazis perpetrated. The American government compensates its citizens of Japanese descent for being herded into concentration camps during the Second World War. Citizens of America of African descent whose ancestors, descendants, are responsible for making America great. Not again, but making America great via slave labor for centuries should be granted compensation straight up. So says Randall Robinson. I agree. Questions. Are those African states that collaborated with the European American slave traders to peddle their brothers and sisters into chattel bondage willing, we pray, to acknowledge their participation in their own genocide? Ghana, with its ceremonies of grief, awareness, and pleas for absolution, manifests Jamestown, Accra, 1994. I was there. Has taken the lead. After all, we must admit that the door of no return on Goree Island would never have been open without the cooperation of the people who lived there. Our African-American ancestors were pushed through the door of no return and changed and have returned using their credit cards. It's time for Africa to open a window that might be called an open door for people of African descent. The hows, what fors, and whys are spelled out in Randall Robinson's book, Defending the Spirit. It's a win-win read. Remember, the lobbying efforts of Robinson's organization had a great deal to do with helping Nelson Mandela walk. Mimba.
And your website is www.odiehawkins.com and Nis